Moving off to the northeast, this area is still included in that tornado watch. Some of our counties, though, have been cut off of that tornado watch. So that's good news, but some of our counties do still remain under a tornado watch. I'll show you that here in just a little bit. As far as any sort of reports go, I'm not seeing any sort of confirmation on any of this as far as any sort of, well, again, this was radar indicated rotation. They issued this they basically were thinking they could see enough of a radar signature on rotation, so they went ahead and issued this tornado warning for that area. It was 8 miles northwest of Athens, and it's moving east at 60 miles an hour. And actually, there was a funnel cloud that was spotted in Elkmont by some storm spotters. So we're going to look at these areas. Again, half of this tornado warning is in parts of Alabama. The other half does bring it into portions of Middle Tennessee. It's going to be right on this state line. We also just had another severe thunderstorm warning issued north of that. I'll get to that here in just a second as well. So just all of a sudden, we just had several warnings that were issued for our viewing area, actually a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings. So this is that tornado that we're still looking at. This one is down in Lincoln County. It's going to go until 12:45. So this still has about another 40 minutes or so left on that tornado warning. I'm going to change products here. I'm going to put the velocity up. This is going to tell us where we see any of the better areas of rotation. And I'm also going to make sure we're on the Huntsville, Alabama radar site. So this is still just some kind of broad rotation. I'm not seeing anything that is too tight. I'm not seeing any of these reds and greens that we look for or to show us where that tighter rotation is. I'm not seeing any of that pop up on our radar right now. Again, they said that this was just kind of a big tornado warning because this line could have some areas of circulation that try to develop as it keeps on pushing off to the northeast. So this is going to be one of those where they're going to issue this, being on the safe side. The storm spotters did see a funnel cloud that could, drop down to the ground at any moment. So if you're living in any of these areas, I know Lincoln County, technically not right here in our viewing area, but parts of Moore County or all of Moore County and Franklin County are. So that's why we are on for this tornado warning. So we have Fayetteville, that's going to be in Lincoln County, included in that tornado warning. But this is just a big early heads up for you. If you're in Moore or Franklin counties, you're going to need to be in your safe place. So Hurdalo, Marble Hill, Beach Hill, these are all in Moore County. Go ahead and get in your safe place right now. And then a little bit further to the east of that, over into parts of Franklin County, Huntland, Brown Mill, Lexi, also all need to be in your safe place. That tornado warning is going to go until 12:45. I'm going to put it back on the reflectivity. So this map that I'm showing right here, these are the winds. And again, this is where we look for some of those better areas of rotation. I'm going to put it back on the reflectivity, though, because we have some very heavy rainfall that is still associated really with this whole line, too. And you can see some of this heavier rainfall. It's basically all the way from Lewisburg and then stretching down into the very far southern portions of Middle Tennessee. And that's going to keep on going down south into parts of Alabama. They have more severe thunderstorms and tornado warnings in effect for that area as well. The reason we're on right now, though, is because of that tornado warning that was just issued by the National Weather Service office in Huntsville for parts of Lincoln, Moore, and Franklin County. It's going to be moving through Lincoln County first, and really the leading edge of that is just moving out of Giles County, and that's just crossing over into the Lincoln County line. That's also where we're seeing some of that heavier rainfall as well. These storms right now, they are not producing as much lightning as some of those storms that we had a little bit earlier today. Some of these storms that were earlier, they were producing a lot of lightning, but this is still the main area of concern for us right now. It's going to be in the southeastern portions of our viewing area. So we're also going to be including areas in the severe thunderstorm warning, not the tornado warning, but the severe thunderstorm warning. Shelbyville over there in Bedford County, and then also Marshall County, Lewisburg included in that severe thunderstorm warning. 60-mile-an-hour wind gust going to be possible with that, and that tornado warning is further to the south. The tornado warning runs until 12:45. We're going to look back up north of there too, because north of that, fortunately, this line has actually been behaving pretty well. Still not seeing much of any sort of severe activity along this main line. We are still getting the heavy rainfall. I was even seeing a report not too long ago of another swiftwater rescue in Sumner County. So that's at least 2 and maybe more that they've had to do there, but at least 2 swiftwater rescues up there in parts of Sumner County. So some heavier rainfall still moving in towards the plateau. And I also want to take you back to this tornado watch too. Again, Lincoln County, that's where the area, best area of possible rotation is moving into the very far western portions of Lincoln County. If that holds together, though, that's going to be pushing off into parts of Moore County, also into Franklin County as well. So that is why we are on air right now for this tornado warning. Again, the Live Golf Tournament running in that screen right next to us. I'll show you the tornado watch map too, because we started out with almost our entire viewing area, with the exception of the plateau that was included in that tornado watch. We still have some of our counties included in the tornado watch, but more and more keep getting clipped out of this, and that is great news. So we're going to definitely be keeping our eye out down here on the far southeastern areas, Lincoln, Moore, and Franklin counties for the next few hours. That tornado watch is actually going to go until 4 a.m. for those counties down there. So we'll be watching that for at least the next few hours. All these, though, back here, most areas west of Interstate 65, with the exception of Giles County right there, have all been clipped out of that tornado watch. So that is really good news. The tornado watch obviously means that conditions in those areas are favorable for tornadoes to develop. So we've lost a lot of the ingredients back there, back west behind that main line as it's moved through. We still have some areas, though, our far southeastern Kentucky counties included in that tornado watch, and these are going to kind of run pretty close to the counties that are near Interstate 65. Davidson County has been removed, and so has Williamson County. So all good news right there. And then that main line will eventually shift east of here and off the plateau. So for everybody in Middle Tennessee except Lincoln, Moore, and Franklin counties, that tornado watch is going to go until 1 o'clock this morning, until 4 o'clock for Lincoln, Moore, and Franklin counties. We'll get you back here to the radar, and actually I want to switch back here too and just see very active in these National Weather Service chat rooms. I'm going to pull up the Huntsville chat room and see if there are any if there is anything going on right here. So this is down in Lauderdale County. That is just across the state line, very far northern portion of Alabama. They have first responders searching through residences, multiple trees on multiple houses down there. And that same storm, I believe, is the same one that could have been pushing up into our area. So we'll definitely be paying attention to this warning just in case anything is still going on with that, though. That tornado warning is still set to run, though, until 12:45. That is the only tornado warning that we have in effect for our viewing area. Again, Moore and Franklin counties included within this tornado warning. If you're west of Interstate 65, though, especially north of I-40 and west of Interstate 65, that severe threat is pretty much over and done with for you. I was just showing you that tornado watch map. It's still these tornado warnings down here in the southeastern portions of our viewing area. I want to get back up here too to the severe thunderstorm warning. Marshall County, Tennessee, also over into Bedford County, Tennessee, 12:45 a.m. for that severe thunderstorm warning. And that severe thunderstorm warning was issued, let's see, because at least 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts possible with that. Not really seeing much in terms of any hail with that severe thunderstorm warned storm. These storms are still moving pretty quickly, though, moving to the east at 55 miles per hour. So even if you're in one of these severe thunderstorms, not a good idea for you to be outside by any means in this area. So not technically a tornado warning, but still very strong winds with that severe thunderstorm warning in southern portions of Marshall County, southern portions of Bedford County as well. It looks like the main threat for that severe thunderstorm warning that remains in place for parts of Giles County has pretty much now moved east of Giles County, and that heaviest rainfall and the slightly better areas of rotation are now pushing on over into parts of Lincoln County. So again, if you're just now tuning in, 12:14, the current time 12:45, that run time on that tornado down there in the southeastern portions of our viewing area. That's going to be in the parts of Lincoln County, and then that tornado warning does extend, though, into Moore and Franklin counties. I'm going to switch back to see if we have any more updates on any of this information. Still just talking about the numerous trees down, it looks like, in Lauderdale County. Have not seen anything up here just across the state line back up here in the parts of Middle Tennessee. And that is about it as far as any of the new updates go. So we'll be let's see, Lawrenceburg. Okay, so Lawrence County, that storm rolled through there earlier. Strong winds with that storm, and some very heavy rainfall with that storm as well. So we're going to pop it back over here to radar and just see still some heavy rainfall going on with this whole line as it has been pushing across Middle Tennessee. If you were watching our newscast earlier, you saw our reporter Madeline Nolan and her photog as well, Curran. They were driving up to Clarksville, and they were driving through some extremely heavy rainfall. And there was a lot of lightning with those storms earlier. Not seeing as much lightning now, though, on the radar as we were earlier. The storm that is tornado warned is still in the western portions of Lincoln County. It's going to be moving into Fayetteville fairly shortly, so I know this is technically outside of our viewing area, but it's basically one of those weird counties. We have areas right to the west of that and right to the east of that that are all in our viewing area. So if you know anybody that's living in Lincoln County, anywhere around Coldwater, Taft, Fayetteville, Flintville, Locks Mill, any of those areas in Lincoln County, go ahead and give them a call. They need to be in their safe place right now. And then you've got plenty of lead time, but if you're in southern portions of Moore County, also western portions of Franklin County, you need to go ahead and be getting to your safe place as well. That storm's still going to take it a little bit to get to you, but if it holds together, it is going to be heading through parts of southern Moore County and over into western portions of Franklin County as well. I'm going to switch back over here. I got a lot of things going on right here. We're going to keep on switching back and forth. I'm also going to be keeping an eye out on any of this new updated information that comes in. We're in this chat room. There's emergency managers, first responders, meteorologists, so a lot of valuable information coming over through parts of this chat as well, but still not seeing really anything new. They are going to hold this tornado warning on this tornado warned storm. We do have a couple of tornado warnings that are in effect for that area. So let me just make sure that I am clicking on the right tornado warning. I want to get the latest information on this tornado warning that is for Lincoln, parts of Lincoln, Moore, and Franklin counties. Still at 11:59 p.m. That's about when that tornado warning was issued. It was issued because of that funnel cloud that was spotted by some storm spotters. I still don't have any confirmation that funnel actually made its way down to the ground. No confirmation yet that there was a tornado on the ground, but you just have to treat these like it is because that could go down at any minute, and that's why they went ahead and issued that tornado warning, because they did have that visual confirmation down there that there was at least a funnel cloud, and it doesn't take a lot in this sort of environment to drop that funnel down to the ground. That's still the only tornado warning that we have, though. It's going to run until 12:45. For the heaviest part of that, moving through Lincoln County. Again, if you know anybody in Lincoln County, southern half of Lincoln County, Fayetteville, Coldwater, Taft, Bellevue, Flintville, any of those areas, try to give them a call. Go ahead and get to your safe place because there could be a tornado on the ground. At least that severe thunderstorm is definitely capable of producing a tornado. And you know, the environment was kind of ripe, especially for some of these areas as these storms were moving through today. Fortunately, the only tornado warnings we had, they were up in our northwestern areas, so it wasn't everybody that did see it, but those northwestern areas, they've been hit hard today. They had the heavy rains move through several rounds of this over the past 7 days or so, and then a very heavy round that moved through earlier today. I'm still getting those flash flooding reports for some of those areas along the Tennessee and the Kentucky state line. And then, like I was talking earlier, there were the reports of the swiftwater rescues that were occurring in Sumner County because of all this heavy rain. The heaviest rainfall, I'm going to switch back over here to the Nashville radar site. That's going to give us a better picture on the rain a little bit further north in the better portions of Middle Tennessee. We still have some heavy rainfall going on along into the east of, or along into the west of Interstate 65, actually. So some of this heavier rain, Dixon, Centerville, Linden, Lawrenceburg, still seeing some of that. The good news with that, though, no severe weather threat for any of those areas that are still seeing a little bit of that rain back west of Interstate 65, except for the extreme southern portions of areas close to Interstate 65 along the Tennessee and Alabama state line. So they have started to clip off the back end of this tornado warning. It does look a little bit better. It's not as cluttered anymore right here on the radar screen, but we still have the severe thunderstorms as well. It does, though, appear that they're just going to keep this tornado warning going until about 12:45. Again, this is for that storm that is capable of producing a tornado, and Moore and Franklin counties are also included in this. So if you're watching us in Moore County, watching us in Franklin County, you need to be in your safe place. That storm, it's still going to take a little bit longer to get to you. I'll get a track here on this in just a second, but these storms tonight have really been moving pretty quickly too, and a lot of these have been moving about 50 to 60 miles per hour. So I'll put a track on here and drag this out for you. Again, the main area of concern, at least in Tennessee, is still in Lincoln County, but we'll put a track on that. From the center of that storm, we're at about 58 miles an hour or so. If you live in or know anybody that lives in New Hope, it'll be into your area about 12 minutes from now. Flintville, 16 minutes from now. Huntland, 25 minutes from now, and Bakertown 25 minutes from now as well. So just to show you how fast these storms are moving, Huntland's about, that storm's going to be in Huntland in about 25 minutes. Right now, this storm is on the far southwestern portions of Lincoln County. Huntland's on the southwestern portions of Franklin County, so it's pretty much going to cross over the whole county, all of Lincoln County, in only about 25 minutes. So these storms are moving pretty quickly tonight. There's another fresh radar update. I'm going to switch it back over to the velocity, and again, this really can tell us, if we're getting a good radar picture at least, of where the better area of rotation is. And I'm going to pop it down there and put it on the Huntsville radar site. That's the closest radar site that we have to this tornado warning. I'm still not seeing any great signs of rotation, but there is some broad rotation, we'll say, around the Coldwater, the Cache Point, the Taft, the Blanche area. That's going to be this area right here. This is the southeastern or the southwestern portions of Lincoln County. I want to move it back up north just a little bit. We're going to look at that spot right here. This is up here. This is in the far northern portions of Lincoln County. This is going to be right here on the Marshall and Bedford County line. It looks like there may be a little bit of rotate, and right as I say that, they issued a tornado warning for it. So this is the exact area that we're talking about right here. You can see this notch. These reds are the winds going away from the radar site. The radar is down here in the parts of, this is actually down across the state line in Huntsville. So these reds right here are the winds going away from that, and the green are the winds feeding into it. So we're going to zoom in right here on that area. That's the northern portion of Lincoln County. That does mean now that all of Moore County is included in one of those two tornado warnings. That new tornado warning covers the northern half of Moore County, and that first tornado warning that was issued at about midnight, that covers the southern half of Moore County. So now we have two tornado warnings that we're going to have to be paying attention to, and I think it's this more northern tornado warning that actually has a little bit better rotation. And right now, it still looks like the best area of rotation is going to be around Petersburg. That's going to be in the far northern portions of Lincoln County, just south across the state line, just south of the Bedford County and Marshall County state line, back up here in the portions of Middle Tennessee. So a couple of tornado warnings that we're going to be watching. There's another product. This one's good to see if we have any sort of debris signature that's popping up on the radar, and you want to make sure that it matches up with the actual velocity as well. This map right here is showing us the velocity, so we'll go ahead and switch it over in just a second. But before I do that, I want to see what the National Weather Service is saying out of Huntsville, that issued that new tornado warning for the northern portions of Lincoln County that also goes into the northern portions of Moore County as well. So we'll get to this tornado warning, the information on this. So this tornado warning issued at 12:20. It's going to go until 12:45. So this tornado warning is going to run for 25 minutes in the northern portions of Lincoln County. That also stretches over into the northern portions of Moore County as well. This was also issued for radar indicated rotation, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. It's this area right here in northwestern areas of Lincoln County that has the better area of rotation. If that holds together, that is going to push out of Lincoln County and head straight for our viewing area, and that is part of Moore County as well. So you still have a little bit of a heads up on that storm if it does hold together. Right now, though, it was issued because of radar indicated rotation. We still don't have actual confirmation that there's a tornado on the ground, but like we've been saying all evening, still, you just got to treat these like they are because they could definitely be on the ground. This is one of the great tools that we have on the radar. They can get us some good lead time on that, looking at these velocity products to show us where the better areas of rotation are, even if nobody has actually seen these tornadoes. So the National Weather Service office in Huntsville issued this tornado warning at 12:20 a.m. They said a severe thunderstorm was capable of producing a tornado that was located over Petersburg or 10 miles north of Fayetteville. This storm's also moving pretty quickly too. It's moving on to the east at 45 miles per hour. Haven't really seen a lot of hail reports with a lot of these storms. Most of these today have just been very heavy rainfall. Some of them have produced a lot of lightning, but then strong damaging winds at 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts with some of these storms. Also, some of them have showed enough sign of rotation to leave us with possible tornadoes. And then, like we were talking earlier, we were seeing the reports of some of these funnel clouds that were still up in the sky, up at the base of the cloud still, so they hadn't quite made their way down to the ground. But it doesn't take a lot for that circulation to actually make its way all the way down to the ground. So that's why that more northern tornado warning was just issued for northern portions of Lincoln County, which does extend over into Moore County as well. I'm going to pop it back up over here to the radar, and we're going to get a fresh look at this. Also, just want to make sure I'm not missing anything north north of this line. I don't think anything should be developing north of that. But I just want to make sure we're not caught off guard. So still all in the clear for these areas north of here, at least as of right now, no active tornado warnings. Still can't rule it out happening, though, for the next hour or two in these areas. But right now, we're still all in the clear. So we're going to keep on focusing on these tornado warnings down here in northern Lincoln County, also pushing off into parts of Moore County. And if the one in southern Lincoln County, if that circulation can kind of stick together, that's eventually going to be moving over into parts of Franklin County. Both of these tornado warnings down here, they're going to go until 12:45. So we're going to get a closer look on some of these tornado warnings right here. Heavy rainfall, not a whole lot of lightning. Radar, or our lightning detector, picking up about 15 lightning strikes over the past several minutes. So really not a great deal of lightning. They are bringing in very heavy rainfall, though, to these areas right now, along with the possibility for some strong damaging winds and even a couple of possible tornadoes. We're still seeing a little bit of rotation. So I'm going to pop it back over here to our velocity product, and this will tell us, give us a better picture. I don't know if we have any rotation or not. We're going to zoom way in, try to get a good picture on this. And actually, it's looking to me like this is going to be, let's get our bearing straight right here. That's going to be in the far, far northern portions of Lincoln County. We could see a little bit of rotation right there, so I'm going to keep my eye out for this spot right here. And then south of that, we're going to go south down Highway 231, 431 right here as well. Maybe a few little spots where we could be seeing just a little bit as well. I'm going to zoom in kind of tight since we're split screen. I know this screen kind of small, but we have a little, maybe a little bit right there in that general area. That's going to be just in between Egham and Crescent in Lincoln County. It's still nothing that looks super significant on the radar, but I definitely can see these areas of rotation that are still trying to hold together, which prompted the National Weather Service office down there in Huntsville, who has the control over Lincoln County here in Middle Tennessee, prompted them to go ahead and issue that tornado warning. However, they did include Moore County and Franklin County within that tornado warning as well. So just to kind of reset everything, current time is 12:27. We had the first tornado warning issued for the southern half of Lincoln County that did stretch over into Moore and Franklin counties. We had that tornado warning that was issued right around midnight. It's almost 12:30 right now, 12:28 the current time. So that's going to run until 12:45. And then that northernmost warning, that is for northern portions of Lincoln County on into Moore and parts of Franklin County as well. So those are the two tornado warnings that we have up right now. I'm going to pop it back over to the regular reflectivity. This is what you typically, if you're watching us, it's what we typically show when we're just talking about just regular rainfall. The other product that we were just looking at is the velocity product. I'm not seeing anything that looks overly concerning, but honestly, it's just still all this rain up here. I'm on the Huntsville radar site right now. I'm going to switch it back over to the Nashville radar site. That'll give us a better picture of the rain in our northern counties. So I've been focusing on these tornado warnings down here. This is the reason why we're on right now. If you know anybody in northern portions of Lincoln County or even southern portions of Lincoln County too, because we have that tornado warning that covers nearly the entire county of Lincoln County, all of Moore County included in one of those two tornado warnings, and also the western portions of Franklin County. So if you know anybody that's living in Lincoln County, if you're in Moore County or Franklin County, you need to go ahead and get to your safe place right now. All of Moore County is included again, and then the western edge of Franklin County included in that tornado warning. Those are the two tornado warnings that we have right now, though, but still that heavy rainfall that's going on across portions of southern Kentucky, also up here in the northern portions of Middle Tennessee. This is right here along the Tennessee and Kentucky line. If you were watching about midnight or so when we initially cut in for this tornado warning, about 30 minutes before that, about 11:30, 11:45 or so, I was seeing in our National Weather Service chat, one of the emergency managers up there in Sumner County was talking about how there's another round, or at least another swift water rescue taking place. So this is really no joke, that flooding rain that we've been talking about. Some of these river levels and the creek levels are already pretty high, so we're going to have to be watching that very closely as well. So that's what we're looking at as far as the heavy rain goes up there in portions of southern Kentucky, northern areas of Middle Tennessee. So if you come across any of those flooded roadways, if you have to be out on the roads, definitely not a good idea to try to drive on that or across any flooded roadways, because you really can just never tell exactly how deep that water is. Back to the tornado warnings though, because that is what we are on air for, and that's our most current issue at hand. This is still going to be for most of Lincoln County, and actually it's pushing through about the center half of Lincoln County. So here's Fayetteville and Lincoln County right here. This is about the center cut line of Lincoln County. Back west of that, it's kind of starting to move out of that area. Again, these storms are moving very quickly. So we're really not seeing a whole lot on the western edges of Lincoln County. These back edges of the tornado warning are probably going to get cut off here in a little bit. This is now moving through the central portions of Lincoln County, and it's still got a little bit of ways to go. This is the edge of Lincoln County right here, and it kind of extends over into parts of Moore and Franklin County as well. So these are the 2 tornado warnings that we're going to continue to watch for at least the next 14 minutes or so. These tornado warnings, if they don't get extended, are going to stay in effect until 12:45 this morning. So we still have about another 15 minutes or so left on that tornado warning. On top of the tornado warnings, we still have that severe thunderstorm warning. Lewisburg area has been clipped out of that tornado warning. So southern portions of Marshall County clipped out of that tornado warning. The southern half of Bedford County does remain in this tornado warning. That includes areas like Shelbyville, still seeing the chance for some strong damaging wind gusts more than likely with that severe thunderstorm warning. Really, the hail threat hasn't been too high today. This has mostly been a heavy rainfall threat with the flood threat, the tornado threat, and the severe thunderstorm threat, the strong damaging wind gusts. So that's what we're watching right now. Still not seeing a whole lot of lightning with these storms either. I'm going to pop back over here in the National Weather Service chat, and I'm just going to keep on seeing if there's any more information on this. I've also got some emails coming in, a lot of things coming in right now. Not seeing any sort of information as far as any details go on that tornado warning for Lincoln County. It doesn't look like right now. Okay, so no new updates on any of these tornado warnings that are down there in portions of Lincoln County. They also do extend, though, into parts of Moore County, also into parts of Franklin County as well. So we're going to back out of the National Weather Service chat and bring it back over here on the radar. And one of the great products that we can use is the storm relative velocity. And this is going to show us the winds that are going towards and away from the radar. And it looks like this storm down here in Lincoln County wasn't showing the greatest rotation earlier, but it looks like it may be showing a little bit better. I am going to switch to the Huntsville radar site, though. Currently on the Nashville radar site. That's going to give us a little bit better picture. But here's the Huntsville radar site. This is going to be a little bit closer. Okay, so you can see this area. This is still that area of rotation that they're watching down here in Lincoln County. This is going to be Highway 431 right here. It's going to run right about Rolling Hill. So again, we're split screen, so I know the screen's a little bit smaller, but if you know anybody living in this area, this is going to be, well, let's see, I can read it better right here. Park City Heights. So let's see, Huntsville Highway, that's going to be Highway 431, Kirtland, Bellevue down in that area, Howell Hill, Three Oaks. Kind of just watching this area, that does appear to be where the better rotation is going to be. This is just south of Fayetteville in Lincoln County. Could still be looking at some rotation down there with that storm right there. It is moving off to the east still at about 50 miles an hour, so 45 to 50 miles an hour with both of these tornado warned storms. We'll put a track on that too, because once it pushes off into Moore and Franklin County, that is going to bring it back here into our viewing area. There's another updated radar scan, and you can see that there's still looks like a better area of rotation now with that newest scan. These reds are going to be the winds going away from the Huntsville radar site, which is down here, and then these greens are going to be the winds going toward that. So this is going to be that area of circulation that the National Weather Service office down there in Huntsville is still watching. That area of circulation on Highway 431 right now, that's right in between Fayetteville and Bellevue. So that's still the area of rotation that we're watching down there in Lincoln County. As it stands right now, another 10 minutes left on this tornado warning. That's set to go until 12:45. That northernmost tornado warning, that is set to go until 12:45 as well. This area of Lincoln County, this is going to be the the far northwestern portion of Lincoln County. The threat's pretty much all past here, where you see these greens These are just all the winds going towards the radar. Not really concerned about any sort of rotation right there, even though it is still included in that tornado warning. Still, the best areas are going to be out ahead of that. So it's going to be right here in this general area between New Herman and Locks Mill in Moore County and in Lincoln County. And in this second area of rotation, this was the first tornado warning that was issued at about midnight. This area of rotation still right there around Fayetteville and Bellevue. So we're going to be keeping our eyes out on that for sure and just see exactly what those two storms try to do, because sometimes these storms will cycle. They'll have some good rotation, try to drop a tornado down. It may lift, and then it tries to drop back down a little bit later on down the road. So we're going to be watching this. That tornado warning was originally issued. One, there was radar indicated rotation, and then two, there were some storm spotters out that way that saw that storm as it was moving out of parts of North Alabama. They just updated these tornado warnings, and they did, back off some of that portion, at least on this southern warning. They clipped off a little bit of the backside of that tornado warning. Totally agree with that. This is the main area of concern right here around the Fayetteville area, and then to areas east of that. And then we still have that northern warning as well. That should have come with an update to see on this tornado warning that is coming out of Huntsville. So they clipped off the backside of that southernmost tornado warning down there in Lincoln County, but they did go ahead and continue that tornado warning. Haven't extended it just yet, but they are going to keep that going until at least 12:45. That tornado warning remains in effect for southeastern portions of Moore and southern Lincoln County, along with southwestern Franklin counties too. So still a couple of warnings down there. Right now, the two tornado warnings that we have, which is again the reason why we are cutting in right now. Live Golf Tournament still right there in the split screen, but those two tornado warnings down there in the southeastern portions of our viewing area that do include Moore County, also do include Franklin counties. The best area of rotation is going to still be down here with the southernmost storm, at least, still in south central portions of Lincoln County right now. This is going to be around Howell Hill, Brighton, Rolling Hills, Kelso. Again, this is in Lincoln County, but that's going to keep on moving to the east, and that's eventually going to take that off into areas Moore County, parts of Franklin County as well. So really, if you're anywhere in Moore County still, you have two tornado warnings that are covering your area. This basically cuts Moore County in half right here. Here's that northernmost tornado warning, and here's the southernmost tornado warning right there in portions of Moore County. So we're going to zoom in too, and like I was saying earlier, I know this screen's kind of small, but here, this general area right here, I'm not seeing any great signs of rotation. However, there are a couple of little spots that we are watching right here where these reds are meeting this green from about, we'll say, New Herman to Locks Mill, where we could see a couple of signs of that storm trying to rotate a little bit right there. And then we have that area down there a little bit further south that's of that tornado warned storm that's in the southern half of Lincoln County. And I think this area is still showing a little bit better area of rotation. It still does look pretty broad, that area of rotation right there, but we are definitely going to be keeping an eye out on that as well. Also, just had some lightning here at the station. Just heard some thunder pretty loud right here. And as that cold front was moving through, it was really kicking up the winds too. Some of these wind gusts were getting kind of strong, 35, 40 miles per hour. And then you had the severe thunderstorms where we could have been seeing wind gusts anywhere 58 miles an hour or higher with that. I'm going to just kind of back out, reset, show you what's going on. It's 12:38 right now. That tornado watch is set to expire for most of Middle Tennessee at 1 a.m. So I'm hoping that that continues. We will still have to monitor this threat. Even though the plateau is still not technically included within that tornado watch, it's not out of the question. We still are going to have to keep an eye out for this area along the plateau. We do lose some of the ingredients, so that is at least some good news, but it's again one of those things where we just have to keep our eye out for that. Still a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings included. It looks like Bedford County still included in that severe thunderstorm warning, and that does, I believe, include Shelbyville. We're going to zoom in right there. So Shelbyville included in this war trace, Roseville, Flat Creek, 12:45 a.m. the end time on that severe thunderstorm warning in the southern half of Bedford County. Still possibly 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts with that storm right there, and some very heavy rainfall as well. And then those two tornado warnings that are still in effect for portions of Lincoln County, all of Moore County, and one of those two tornado warnings, all of Moore County included in tornado warning, and the western part of Franklin County as well. So we're going to read these towns off. This storm is still moving pretty quickly. It's basically, when I put that tracker on there and said it was about 25 minutes away from Huntland, it was in the far southwestern portions of Lincoln County. It was way down there, the better area of rotation, and now that has quickly moved out to the east, and now we're starting to see this area moving into the eastern portions of Lincoln County. I do want to go back over to velocity, though. Could be seeing a little bit of something right here on the reflectivity. I want to see what it's looking like on our wind product map and see if we're getting any sort of a signature right there. And it's still just kind of that same rotation, the same look that we've been looking at earlier. So I definitely agree with the tornado warning still holding up, at least for the next few minutes. Not seeing anything super tight as far as the rotation goes, with those winds very close against each other right now. But it's not going to take much. That tornado warning was initially issued because there were some storm spotters that did see that. So let's see. I'm just going to back out. Bear with me. I'm going to change screens over here. I'm going to bring back the National Weather Service chat. It looks like there are some updates coming in from some of the meteorologists down there at the National Weather Service office in Huntsville. So there, it looks like, let's see. I'm going to make sure that we're on the right one. I'm going to go back to the radar and still see, because we do have a couple of tornado warnings that are still in the National Weather Service in Huntsville's coverage area. So I want to make sure that I'm getting the right one. So they've kind of broken these tornado warnings up, and it looks like there may be another warning. Yep, there we go. So there's another warning that was just issued. That is now going to go until 1:30, and this one does include a better portion of Franklin County. It's going to include the southern and eastern parts now of Franklin County. So we have 3 tornado warnings now that we're going to have to be watching, and here's what we're looking at right here. So we could be seeing some rotation with this storm. This is going to be down in parts of North Alabama, but you can see the path, that northeasterly track right here on this red polygon. That's a tornado warning. If this area of rotation holds together, that is going to send it right there into parts of Franklin County. So that's one of the ones we're going to be watching. This is a jumbled picture. We have 3 tornado warnings. I'm going to zoom out just a touch. We have 3 tornado warnings that are all jumbled up here right on top of each other in the far southeastern portions of our viewing area. So it's 12:42 right now. These top two tornado warnings, at least, are set to go until 12:45. So we have another 3 minutes on that. I'm curious to see what exactly they decide to do with that. Pretty much most of the threat with that northernmost tornado warning in Lincoln County has now pretty much pushed on over into Moore County, but we still have those couple of 2 now tornado warnings in the southern portions of Lincoln County. One of those does extend over into Moore County, also into Franklin County as well. So we still have a couple of tornado warnings that we're going to have to watch. 2 of those are set to expire at 12:45. This is the new tornado warning right here that was issued for some of that better rotation down there in parts of North Alabama. That's going to move on that northeasterly track. If that rotation holds together, that could send that into parts of Franklin County. And again, this was also issued, I believe, because of radar indicated rotation. I have not seen any sort of visual confirmation on that, and I'm just seeing that another tornado warning was just issued. That may be an extension of one of those that we were just watching earlier. That should be popping up here on our radar computer in just a little bit. And you know, this line, we started out with a lot of action up in our northwestern areas. We had several tornado warnings issued, several severe thunderstorm warnings issued. That was going to be for areas closer to the Tennessee River, around Henry County, Benton County, Stewart County, Trigg County, Kentucky, places like that. We had some quite a few severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings issued. And then we just kind of had a good lull in this activity as it pushed through most of Middle Tennessee, but now it's just really starting to crank up again down here in the southeastern portions of our viewing area. Lincoln, Moore, and Franklin County, a lot of that still included within these 3 tornado warnings that we have going on right now. The National Weather Service here in Nashville, that severe thunderstorm that we were watching down here in southern half of Bedford County, that did include Shelbyville. I'm actually going to put on the reflectivity too to show you what the rain's looking like. They are going to push that tornado warning now over into Coffee County. That's severe thunderstorm warning. They're going to push that severe thunderstorm warning over into parts of Coffee County, and that's going to include areas like Manchester now within that severe thunderstorm warning. And we really haven't been having to worry about much of a hail threat with any of these storms. Seen a little bit, but not a whole lot. So I believe that severe thunderstorm warning now that's going to be for parts of Coffee County, probably more than likely issued because of 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. 12:39 a.m. That's what it is, 60-mile-an-hour wind gust with that. Let's see, we're going to bring it back now. I just want to make sure I'm not missing any sort of updates that are coming in from the National Weather Service chat in Huntsville. And there is, it looks like, I want to see if one of these tornado warnings may have gotten okay, so we just had another extension of that tornado warning. So now the entirety of Franklin County is included in this tornado warning. So really, this is just going to be if you live anywhere in Franklin County and pretty much anywhere in Moore County too, you just need to be in your safe place. This is a very cluttered image. Okay, those previous tornado warnings just expired that were in Lincoln County. So most of Lincoln County is in the clear. This is Lincoln County right here. Here's Fayetteville. This is the far eastern edge of Lincoln County. That's where we're seeing the worst of that activity right there. Some very heavy rainfall where you're seeing those reds pop up in the eastern portions of Lincoln County. So if you live in the eastern half of Lincoln County, that threat has passed you. You're still going to be getting some rainfall, maybe even some heavy rainfall too for the next few hours. But as far as the tornado threat goes, most of that has now pushed out and just to the eastern parts of Lincoln County, but nearly all of Moore County still included in that tornado warning. This is a brand new tornado warning, and it's an extension of that original tornado warning. And then we have that second tornado warning too that's issued for the southern half of Franklin County. So still all of Franklin County, that's pretty easy just to understand. If you live in Franklin County, you need to be in your safe place no matter what town you're in, because this whole little line right here has the possibility of rotating and could produce a tornado. The National Weather Service meteorologist down there in Huntsville seeing enough signature on the radar to go ahead and basically just warn the entire county, Moore County and Franklin County, in those two separate tornado warnings. But that whole line is, at least in that area, does have the ability to rotate. So parts of Moore County still seeing this. If you're in Bakertown, Moore County, Beach Hill, any Lewis, Hertelo, Lynchburg, Raysville, any of these areas, you need to be in your safe place right now. That tornado warning is going to remain in effect until 1:30 in the morning. So we still got about 45 minutes or so now if that tornado warning sticks together. And I have all the reason to believe that it will, honestly, because the first tornado warnings that were issued, those held the whole duration. So we've been on air now since about midnight, cutting in for this tornado warning. We're about 47 minutes into that, the first tornado warning that was issued. Since then, we've had a few more tornado warnings issued. And still, all this activity going on down here in the far southeastern portions of our viewing area. So like I said, before I zoom out of this, if you live in any of Franklin County, you need to be in your safe place. I know you're probably familiar with storms down there in that area. You get them quite a bit, but it's going to be the lowest floor of whatever building you're in, the most interior room. Put as many walls between you and the outside of your home as you can, and also stay away from any windows. Not a good idea to be around any windows with these storms rolling through. If you have a basement, something like that, that's going to be great. A basement or a storm shelter, obviously, those are ideal. Not everybody has those, though. So just get to the lowest floor of the house or building that you're in, a good site-built structure, and just stay there. I'll give you the all clear when you can leave your safe place in that area. But most of this now has pushed out of Lincoln County. Again, we covered the counties on the west side of Lincoln County, and we covered the counties on the east side of Lincoln County, and it is now officially pushed off into parts of Moore County, also into parts of Franklin, or really all of Franklin County now. Like I've been saying, included in that tornado warning. Both of those tornado warnings, the northern one and the southern one for Franklin County, are going to remain in effect until 1:30 this morning. It is Sunday morning. The current time is 12:48. It started out with a bang up there around the Tennessee River. We had a nice little lull in the activity, and it has really decided to kick back up again down here in our southeastern counties. Several severe thunderstorm warnings and several tornado warnings have been issued over the past about 50 minutes or so in that area. I want to go back, though, to this tornado watch map because it is good news for some of y'all if you're still watching. A lot of y'all, especially back west of Interstate 65 and especially north of Interstate 40, you got nothing to worry about. You're all in the clear. So if you're in areas like Hopkinsville, Clarksville, Dixon, Camden, here in Nashville, Paris, Linden, Columbia, Lawrenceburg, no issues there. That tornado watch has been expired. It has now been clipped out of your area. That means those conditions are just no longer favorable for any of those tornadoes to occur. Basically, once this line passes your area, you're pretty much going to be in the clear. The best ingredients are going to be right there along that line. I'll show you that again on a radar right now, but this is what we have right now. All of our counties in southern Kentucky, this is also good news. Every single one of our counties in southern Kentucky excluded from that tornado watch. They've all been clipped out, so no more tornado watch in effect for that area. We do have a tornado watch that's going to kind of be on this curvy line from Clay County right here in portions of Middle Tennessee on down to Lawrence, Giles, Lincoln, Moore, and Franklin County still included in that. And that tornado watch is going to, for Lincoln, Moore, and Franklin, is going to stay, the official end time is 4 a.m. Wouldn't be surprised if it does get cut a little bit earlier than that, though, because these storms are moving pretty quickly. Everybody else, though, besides Lincoln, Moore, and Franklin County, that tornado watch, if it doesn't get extended, is set to expire at 1 a.m. And as it stands right now, none of our counties really around the plateau. That's going to be areas like Putnam County, Cumberland County, including Crossville, Van Buren County, none of those counties included in that tornado watch right now. Can't totally let your guard down, I don't think, just yet, because we're still seeing some of those signs of rotation in parts of Moore County and Franklin County. So it'll be interesting to see exactly how those play out once they cross over a little bit. Might run out of a little bit of fuel and a little bit of those ingredients that they need to sustain themselves. But that's the tornado watch map. That's what it looks like right now. If you're back west of Interstate 65, you really don't have much to worry about. Still, technically, Giles County is included within that tornado watch. Would not be surprised if that gets clipped out of here kind of soon, though, because I think most of the threat has passed Giles County. Now, I'm going to switch it back over here. I want to get you back to the radar, too. But like I said, if you're anywhere in Franklin County, you just need to be in your safe place. I really don't even have to call out any town names. If you live in Franklin County, you need to be in your safe place. The entire county is included in a couple of tornado warnings, so nowhere in Franklin County that is not included in tornado warning right now. I'm going to pop back over here to, let's see, I'm going to pop back over here to the radar. Still seeing those severe thunderstorm warnings, still seeing those tornado warnings as well for the southeastern portions of our viewing area. And I'm going to switch back over here to the National Weather Service chat too. Like I said, a lot of things going on, trying to keep all these things organized. So the National Weather Service office down there in Huntsville saying that most recent tornado warning, that one that now includes, I believe it's that one that includes really all of Franklin County and even portions of Moore County, that tornado, it actually is covering 2 circulations. We're going to look at that here in just a second on the velocity product, and that's what we're going to do right now. If I can get this back over to the radar. So we're going to, here's a wide view. First off, though, this is that main line right here. All of this right here that you're seeing, some heavy rainfall going on in portions of Davidson County, Williamson County, Murray County. Not anything that you have to worry about, though, at least as far as any severe activity goes. This is just going to be some heavy rain, an occasional lightning strike for some of those spots. This area is still right here along and just ahead of this main line. That's going to be the main area of focus for maybe the next couple of hours for some of these areas. This is just going to be this area that we really have to keep our eye on with any of these storms as we head through the next couple of hours at least. And it's these 2 counties, really, Moore and Franklin County, that are included in the 2 tornado warnings right now. I'm going to switch it back over here to the velocity product. And some of this should have moved already through parts of Moore County. So I want to show you what that looks like. And then also it's Franklin County that we're still going to be watching. So this is the velocity. This is different than when we show you the rain. If you watch our newscast and we just pop it up and say, hey, it's raining here, this is different than that product. These are actually showing us the winds. So these green colors right here, these are the winds that are coming towards the radar site. The radar that we are on is down south of here. This right here is the Tennessee and Alabama state line. We're on the radar site that's in Huntsville. And let's see, good, at least for Moore County, still included in the polygon. I would not be surprised, though, if Moore County does start to get clipped out of here. I am not really seeing many signs of rotation at all in Moore County. These storms are still moving really quickly, 45, 50, 55 miles an hour off to the northeast. So I think the biggest threat now is for Franklin County, where we're seeing some of these better areas of rotation. So I'm going to name off some of these town names, but again, it's just all of Franklin County. You still need to be in your safe place. Estill Springs, Eastbrook, Winchester, Belvedere, Keith Springs, Lakeview, Sewanee, Oak Grove, Asia, Deckard, forgive me if I mispronounce some of these names, Shady Grove, Sherwood, any of those spots that I just named off, you need to be in your safe place right now. And like I was saying earlier, we're going to give you the all clear when all of this finally wraps up. And hopefully it'll be coming to an end here kind of soon. I think once this finally pushes out of Franklin County, we're going to start to run out of some of that fuel that's going to help fire and keep some of those storms going, we'll definitely be here. I'll be here continuing to watch that for as long as I need to for the next few hours. But I think by about 3 o'clock, we should be able to pretty much call this over and done with. But that's we'll wait and see, but that's what I'm kind of thinking right now. So we'll pop this back over here to the reflectivity map. Still seeing some heavy rainfall going on. It does look like the heaviest of the activity, though, right here along this main line has now pushed out of Moore County, but now we have all of Franklin County to go with this tornado warning that is in effect. We have 2 of those tornado warnings still that are in effect for northern portion, actually all of Franklin County. We have a northernmost tornado warning and then this southernmost tornado warning. Radar just updated again. You can still see that definitive line right there. That's that front that's moving through. And I want to show you something kind of interesting too. But before I back off of this, I do want to update you on this. Like I was just talking earlier, I was not seeing any more rotation right there in Moore County. National Weather Service down there in Huntsville in total agreement with that, and they have now clipped out Moore County from that tornado warning. So if you're watching us from Moore County right now, no longer a threat to you. This has crossed over the county line. This tornado warned storm is now into parts of Franklin County. So not going to have to deal with any of that threat anymore for Moore County. You're all in the clear right now with that. There is still some rainfall going on, but as far as that tornado threat, Moore County no longer included within that tornado warning. So if you're watching us from Moore County, you can go ahead and come out of your safe place. And this threat has now shifted over into Franklin County. So we're still watching this western edge of Franklin County. This is the Franklin County line right there where you see that red portion of that polygon. That's the tornado warning. This is the far western side of that. It's still got a little ways to go, though, before it continues off. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. I'm blocking up some of Franklin County right there with my little stand. But this right here, that's the radar site that I've been talking to, where there's that kind of hole of nothing right there. That is the radar site. But this is Franklin County right here. Everybody in Franklin County is included in that polygon, so it makes it pretty easy. If you're in Franklin County, anywhere in the entire county, you need to be in your safe place. The entire county still included in those 2 tornado warnings. Those are going to go until 1:30 a.m., and both of those are going to go until 1:30 a.m. So we have 33 minutes left on these 2 tornado warnings that are down here into parts of Lincoln County. I want to back out just a little bit, just show you what's going through. Still that severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Coffee County. That is that main line punching through Coffee County right now. You're probably looking at some strong wind gusts right there. Definitely some heavy rainfall. I will say not a whole lot of lightning. We do have a couple of lightning strikes going on in Coffee County, but not seeing any sort of rotation with any of these storms moving through Coffee County. So that's good. Hopefully that'll stay that way for Coffee County. That severe thunderstorm warning in Coffee County is going to go until 1:15, so about 17 minutes or so left on that severe thunderstorm warning. And this is the only tornado warning that we have right now. It's actually 2 tornado warnings, but it just includes the entire county of Franklin County, the entire county included with that tornado warning. I'm gonna back out too and just see if I have any sort of reports, any sort of power outage map or power outage updates, or any reports coming in from law enforcement of any sort of trees down or any sort of damage on anything. Because as it stands right now, I have not had any confirmation that these tornado warned storms have actually been dropping tornadoes on the ground, but we have every reason to believe that these storms are very capable of producing tornadoes. And like we were talking earlier, we originally got on for that first tornado warning right around midnight, and that tornado warning was issued. There was radar indicated rotation. There was also some storm spotters that saw a funnel cloud that was trying to drop down to the ground. So the National Weather Service folks down there in Huntsville went ahead and issued that tornado warning. On top of all of this, these are the tornado warnings. Again, anywhere in Franklin County, you need to stay in your safe place. Just like we did with Moore County, I'll let you know when the all clear for Franklin County is there and that line has finally moved out of your area. I'll let you know when that happens. But for right now, just go ahead and stay in your safe place. But it's these northern areas not going to have to deal with any sort of tornado threat along the Tennessee and Kentucky state line right now. At least for most of us, that threat has finally cleared on out of here. But we've just had so much rainfall over the past 7 days that the ground is just so saturated that we're still seeing those flooding concerns. And I believe some of those flash flood warnings are in effect. Let's see if I have a map over here of these flash flood warnings that I can quickly get to. I do not have a map of that, but Let's see, I can check right here, though. We do still have some flash flood warnings that are in effect. Clarksville is still included in a flash flood warning. Areas like White House, Portland, Lafayette, Hendersonville, even right here in Nashville, we still are in a flash flood warning. Our flash flood warning is going to go for another 3 hours. So that flash flood warning for Davidson County not going to expire until about 4 o'clock. That's still got another 3 hours left on that. I want to show you these temperatures, though, because we are really going to see, we should be seeing, I haven't even looked at these temperatures since I've been watching the radar, but as that front keeps on moving through, we're going to start to see these temperatures drop. We're already seeing the beginning signs of that up here in the parts of northwest Kentucky, upper 40s, lower 50s, and then we still have these in the 60s out here, kind of in some of these areas. 64 in Tullahoma, 66 the current temperature right there in McMinnville, 59 our current temperature here. Temperatures are going to drop quite low tonight, and then on the back side of this initial, this main wave of showers and thunderstorms that we have moving through, on the back side of that, more moisture is going to move in, and then that could, when the temperatures drop, that could transition some of that rain over to a little bit of snowfall, so we could be looking at some flurries flying. I really don't expect any sort of issues, though, as we go throughout the day on Sunday. I'm sure you probably heard about it by now. There is a chance for some snow, though, as we get into Wednesday. We're just going to get through this first, though, and then once we hit next week, we'll talk a little bit more about that snowfall potential for Wednesday. This is the main concern right now, though. It's this line of storms that is still moving through Franklin County. Lincoln County has been totally cleared from the tornado warnings, as has Moore County. Lincoln and Moore County not included in any of these tornado warnings anymore, but we still have all of Franklin County that are included within one of these two tornado warnings. Estill Springs, you need to be in your safe place still. Winchester, Sewanee, you need to be in your safe place as well. Cohen, Oak Grove, Keith Springs, any of these spots, you need to be in your safe place. This is the far eastern edge of Franklin County, and it's moving really quickly, so it's already kind of pushing along the center point of Franklin County. This is going to be the backside of that. That's going to be the far western edge of Franklin County, where you see these greens that are popping up on the radar. All these reds, that is that main line that's been moving through all the way across Middle Tennessee, just sweeping across the state, and that's where we are still seeing the better ingredients to try to get some of those storms kicking off and rotating, and that's why the National Weather Service office in Huntsville is just going to leave that line worn right there. There's a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings going on, basically all the way from the Tennessee and Alabama state line, all the way down to parts of South Mississippi, almost to the Gulf Coast. So this is just, that main line, it is really packing a punch. Everywhere it travels through parts of Middle Tennessee, all the way down to the Gulf Coast. Still just Franklin counties, though. Franklin County included within this tornado warning. And again, stay in your safe place for a little bit longer. These storms are moving very quickly, so you're not going to have to deal with this threat for a whole lot longer. We will stay on air, though, until we can give you the all clear to get out of your safe place in Franklin County down there. So we're just going to back out. I'm going to leave the radar up right here for you, and I am going to switch over and see if there is any more discussion, see if we've had any sort of damage reports, any sort of confirmation, visual confirmation or anything like that. I just want to see exactly what we have going on. I've been focusing on radar. I just want to see what I've missed as far as any sort of reports go. So it looks like no reports of any sort of damage in Lincoln County. However, in Moore County, there were 2 areas of trees down in Moore County, and that is, it looks like, about the only information that we have as far as any sort of damage reports go from Lincoln, Moore, or Franklin counties. So that's good news. Hopefully it stays like that. Again, these storms, very capable of producing tornadoes, just haven't had the confirmation that this rotation is actually making its way down to the ground. I'm going to change over here, change products. We're going to put it on Future Track real quick, and I'll show you this line. We're not going to have to deal with it for a whole lot longer. I'm working off of a split screen, so I'm trying to get it to where I can move it right here. So let's see. I'm going to try to get this to where I can play this out a little bit and show you exactly when this passes. So that's 1 o'clock. This is 1 o'clock basically right now We're going to advance future track out a little bit further. That's going to put us at 2 o'clock right there, and that's going to be right there on the plateau. And then by about 3 o'clock or so, I think this is pretty much over and done with. I think by about 3 p.m., probably not going to have to deal with much of a threat right here along the plateau. But then on the back side of that, you can see some of that snow that's going to try to move in late tonight, early tomorrow morning. Well, I'm sorry, we're already in Sunday morning. It's going to be moving through during the early morning hours of this morning. Not expecting much accumulation or anything like that. It shouldn't cause you any sort of issues. Just don't be surprised, though, if you see some flurries flying in the sky if you're out early Sunday morning. Now, we're going to bring it back to the radar and see exactly what's going on. I want to see if there's been any, I'm going to bring it to the velocity product too. This is, again, if you were watching earlier, where we can see the better areas of rotation popping up, and we're going to bring it to the velocity. That's the regular reflectivity right now. You can see this is the center portion of that line moving through the center portions of Franklin County. The western edges of Franklin County, you're kind of losing threat. Technically, still the polygon is still flashing for you in western portions of Lincoln County, but it is quickly moving to the east of Franklin County, and this could be some good news out ahead of that. This is outside of our viewing area, but that National Weather Service office choosing to go ahead and issue a severe thunderstorm warning for that area, and that tornado warning still remains in effect, though, for a good portion of Franklin County right now. So it's still strong winds, the possibility of some of these storms trying to rotate. I'm going to switch back over here and just see if we have any more updates coming in. Not seeing any updates as far as these tornado warned storms in Franklin County go. I am seeing a lot of trees down, but that's just outside of our viewing area. That's going to be in the parts of Alabama, so that's going to be outside of ours. Actually, this, let's see, I'm seeing some reports of some of the trees down. This was around Lawrenceburg, Lawrence County. There were some trees down with that storm that rolled through there. But as far as these tornado warned storms go, not seeing a whole lot for anywhere besides Franklin County. I think the two areas that we're still going to be watching are in Franklin County. I'll bring it back over here to this velocity product too. Again, this is going to show us the rain or the winds that are going towards the radar and away from the radar. And right now, everybody that is in these two flashing red polygons, these are the two tornado warnings. This is Franklin County right here. These storms are still pushing out to the northeast very quickly too. I'm not seeing right now any sort of major signs of any rotation going on with these tornado warned storms that are in portions of Franklin County. There are some areas you can see that they're trying to rotate a little bit. Some of these areas that I'm talking about, Deckard trying to rotate a little bit right there. Also, Gum Creek area, that's going to be right in this area, right there. Maybe a little bit of that storm trying to rotate. Nothing super impressive on the radar, though, so at least that is some good news. The Huntsville National Weather Service office is updating these tornado warnings, and like we were talking earlier, that threat has now pushed off into the central portions of Franklin County and now shifting towards the eastern portions of Franklin County. So this whole area, this is, we'll say, the northeastern or the northwestern quadrant of Franklin County has been removed from that tornado warning. So if you're watching us in Franklin County from areas like Broadview, Brownington, Belvedere, Walnut Grove, Falls Mill, Brown Mill, you're not having to deal with this anymore. So if any of those town names that I just listed, you're not going to have to deal with any sort of tornado threat. You're all good to come out of your safe place. But it's still basically the center line of Franklin County and areas to the east of that. You still need to be in your safe place. That's going to include areas like Gum Creek, Oak Grove, Asia, Deckard, Sewanee, Cohen, Rockledge, Tantalon, again, forgive me if I'm mispronouncing a few of these town names, Sherwood, Lakeview, maybe even around the Three Forks and Keith Springs area. I think a lot of this has just started to move out of the Keith Springs area, and here's a fresh updated radar image that we just got. So most of that has now moved out of the Keith Springs area and really even out of the Three Forks area too, and now we have this main line, the heavier rainfall right there, South City, Lakeview, Cohen, Greenhall, Oak Grove, Wilder Chapel, Rourke Cove, Bobtown, any of those areas, you do still need to remain in your safe place. I wouldn't be surprised too if this back edge of the tornado warning down here in the southwestern portions of Franklin County starts to get clipped out, because I still think the main threat with this is going to be right here along that leading edge, and then just to the east of that too, right here on the far eastern portions of Franklin County. So we'll go ahead and keep an eye out on that. As it stands right now, though, this tornado warning is still set to go until 1:30 in the morning. Got another 20 minutes or so that's going to be left on this tornado warning, these two tornado warnings that are in effect for portions of Franklin County. North of that, still not seeing any sort of tornado warnings. However, these storms are starting to get a little bit stronger right there on the plateau than they were when they were pushing across areas like Interstate 65. We still have severe thunderstorm warnings, new severe thunderstorm warnings now that have just recently been issued. These are going to go until 1:45. This is going to include Warren County, also over into Van Buren County. Both of those counties included in that severe thunderstorm warning that's going to go until 1:45. And I'm pretty sure that's just going to follow the trend that we've been seeing all night long now. Not seeing a lot of a hail threat with these, maybe some hail, nothing major though, but most of this is going to be the chance for some strong damaging winds, maybe producing tornadoes, but mainly with these severe thunderstorm warnings right here for Van Buren County and also Warren County that does include McMinnville. That severe thunderstorm warning, more than likely the best chance seeing 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts or so with that severe thunderstorm warning right there. The only two tornado warnings that we have in effect for our viewing area still include portions of Franklin County. These storms are moving very quickly still. I'd still say they're moving at about 45, 50, maybe even about 55 miles an hour to the east. So we're not going to hold on to this tornado warning for a whole lot longer down here in Franklin County. It's either going to expire or just totally leave Franklin County probably within the next 10 or 15 minutes or so. So that's the one area that we're still going to be keeping our eye on for now. It's going to be the eastern edges of Franklin County. I still don't have any confirmation of any tornado that's actually been on the ground in Franklin County, but these have held just enough signs of rotation that the National Weather Service office in Huntsville has held on to these tornado warnings with both of these storms, a few of these storms that have been moving through parts of Franklin County. So I'll read out some town names again. Sherwood, Lakeview, Tantaline, Sewanee, Bobtown, Rockledge, Greenhall, Rourke Cove, Oak Grove, Alto, Wilder Chapel, Shady Grove. If you're anywhere in those areas in central and eastern portions of Franklin County, stay in your safe place just a little bit longer, maybe about 15, 20 minutes or so, and then you should be all clear to get out. I'll let you know, though, when the rotating thunderstorms, when that threat is finally over with in that area. I'll back out. I'm going to leave you with a wider view of the radar, just show you kind of what's going on. And while that's there, again, let me scoot this over. While this is right here, I'm going to check the National Weather Service chat real quick and just see if we have any more information coming in. Just that severe thunderstorm warning that I was just talking about, that was issued for 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. That's the main theme that we've been seeing all night. Not a lot of hail that we're having to deal with in these storms that have been moving through tonight. But as far as the tornado warning goes for Franklin County, let's see, I'm not seeing any sort of updates on that. So right now I'm going to say that's good news. And then we'll switch it back over to the velocity product too. And I want to see if we're seeing any sort of rotation signatures right here on the radar on the velocity product. They did update this tornado warning, and it's like what we were talking earlier around the Huntland area. You're all good. You have nothing to worry about now. That storm has now passed you. So basically, if you're around the center line, north and south, center line of Franklin County and back to the west of that, closer to the Moore County and Lincoln County line, this threat has now pushed past you. This threat is now mainly for about the eastern third of Franklin County, where we're still seeing some of this heavier rainfall and possibility of some rotating thunderstorms right there in that area. I can bring back the storm relative velocity product and see exactly what we're looking at. So with this southern tornado warning, I'm really not seeing any areas that are too concerning right now. Still, they are keeping that tornado warning in place, so you still need to stay in your safe place, but at least I can say good news. I am not seeing right now any areas down here that are showing any really good signs of rotation. Just go ahead and stay in your safe place, though, for at least the next 15 minutes or so, and then you should totally be all good. But right now, I do think it's looking pretty good on the radar. Up here, just north of that, nothing too concerning when I'm looking at this wind product right here on the radar. There is, though, right here around just to the southeast of Greenhall, southwest of Sewanee, there is this one little area, maybe showing a little bit of sign of broad rotation right there. So I think that's going to be one of the areas that we'll just keep watching for the next few minutes. But right now, looking at this radar, that is the main thing that I am looking at. And actually, it looks like we just had another tornado warning issued. So those were the tornado warnings for Franklin County. We're going to hold on to those for just a little bit longer, but a little bit further north of that, those Franklin County, the National Weather Service office in Huntsville controls Franklin County, but back up here, this storm right up here into parts of Warren and Van Buren County, National Weather Service office here in Nashville controls that, and they just went ahead and issued a tornado warning for that storm. So here's the velocity product. Real quick, though, before I read this information, you can see where this may even actually be a couple areas of possible rotation. And I'll read that tornado report here in just a second. But we could be seeing a couple areas of rotation right here. So really, if you're anywhere along this line right here, that's going to be areas like Mount Zion. Again, we're zoomed in pretty tight right here, but we are in Warren County, Lawson Mill, Mount Zion, McMinnville included in this tornado warning as well. It's going to go until 1:45. Faulkner Springs, Rollins, Laurelburg, Riverview, White Hill, Spencer, Bone Cave, Falls City, and Sparkman, some of the towns that are included in this tornado warning within Warren County, also over into parts of Van Buren County too. This tornado warning is going to go until 1:45. We still have those tornado warning, 2 tornado warnings that are just south of that though in Franklin County. But this is the newest tornado warning that was just issued. So there's what the radar is looking like. This is on the very far eastern portions of our viewing area, moving through Warren County, Van Buren County. I'm going to see exactly what this tornado warning was issued for. At 1:13, they went ahead and issued that tornado warning for Warren and Van Buren County. This is also radar indicated rotation. So this is still the radar. When we put on that velocity mode, we can see just enough rotation in there. The National Weather Service folks over here at the Nashville office, they are great, by the way. They were seeing enough of a rotation signature on the radar to go ahead and issue that tornado warning on that storm that was headed towards McMinnville, so parts of Warren County on over into Van Buren County. McMinnville is included within that tornado warning. Again, this is radar indicated rotation. This storm's still moving pretty quickly too, pretty much similar to what we've been seeing all night long now. This storm moving at 45 miles an hour. Most of these has been moving about 45 to 50 miles per hour. Should be around McMinnville around 1:20, so in your area very soon, and Spencer around 1:35 a.m. So just keep that in mind. If you're in Spencer, you still got a little bit of time to get to your safe place, but go ahead and act now. Go ahead and get to your safe place just in case. I don't have any reports of visual confirmation on this tornado warned storm, this new tornado warning that we just got for Warren County, up in the parts of Van Buren County too. And actually, it's also going to include that tiny little portion of White County too. It looks like Doyle might be included within that, Mount Pisgah as well, included within that tornado warning in the far southern portions of White County. So we still have that tornado warning right there. That is the newest, the freshest tornado warning that we have had issued. McMinnville, if there is any sort of tornado on the ground right now, still no confirmation of it, but if there is, and we got to treat it like there is, McMinnville, you really need to be in your safe place right now. Faulkner Springs in your safe place as well. West Riverside too, because this right here are going to be some of the best areas of rotation, and it may even be a couple of spots of that line of storms that's trying to rotate right there. So this is the newest tornado warning that we have. That is going to go until 1:45. This is, again, if you're just now tuning in, this is for Warren County, McMinnville included in this. The best area of rotation is right over McMinnville right now. So if you're in McMinnville, please get to your safe place just in case there is a tornado on the ground. And if that holds together, if that rotation holds together, it's going to be pushing off into portions of Van Buren County, in the extreme far southern portions of White County as well. So that's what we're looking at right there. Here's a fresh radar scan that just came in. Still seeing some of the best areas of possible rotation. It's still going to be around that same area: Mount Leo, McMinnville, Faulkner Springs, Jesse. That's where it looks like, that's where it should be right about now. Some of these better areas of rotation. Just out ahead of that, though, if you're in Union, Roland, on down here in Shellsford, you need to be in your safe place as well. So anywhere kind of along Spencer Road, Highway 70 South, or Harrison Ferry Road. Let's see, I'm having to look closely at my screen. It's really small. Shells Ford Road. If you're in around any of these roads, or you know of these, go ahead and be in your safe place right now, because that is still where we're seeing the best areas of rotation popping up right here on our radar computer. So that's the tornado warning storm for Warren County, Van Buren County, the far southern portions of White County. I want to shift it back down here a little bit further south, though, and zoom in on some of these areas that we're seeing. And I will say this is still looking like pretty good news. So this is the radar site that I'm on right now. That's down there in Huntsville. That's that yellow, that kind of hole right there where we're not seeing any data read in. That's the radar site. All of this right here for most of Franklin County now. And as I say this, they're starting to chop off some of these tornado warnings. This is good news too. These storms are just about to cross out of our viewing area and push a little bit further off into portions to the east of Franklin County. We still have these couple of tornado warnings. It's still going to be down here in Franklin County, but I would say just, again, give it another 5 or 10 minutes or so just to be on the extra safe side. But I am still not really seeing many signs at all of any rotation down here, with most of this big warning, this big tornado warning down here in the southeastern portions of Franklin County. Really, it's going to be the far northeastern portions of Franklin County where I'm seeing maybe a little bit of rotation. Radar just updated. That now pushes that over the county line. Would not be surprised if we see this tornado warning go here in just a few minutes. Technically, though, it is still up. So if you're in the southeastern portions of Franklin County, if I've been saying Lincoln County, I mean Franklin County. If we're in the far southeastern portions of Franklin County, you need to remain in your safe place just to be on the safe side. But right now, I am not seeing too many signs of rotation concerning that big tornado warning. This is a small tornado warning, though. The back end of this just got cut off. So this right here, this still looks like kind of decent rotation to me right here. This is going to be for the far northeastern portions of Franklin County. Could be seeing some rotation right here. I'm going to zoom in pretty tight on it. Again, the far northeastern portions of Franklin County. This is going to include areas like Sand, Switch. This is going to be around Sewanee Highway, and maybe even around Montview Drive, just south of that a little bit, if you're familiar with that area, in northeastern portions of Franklin County. That is just about to cross over the county line, though, and move out of our viewing area. So we'll probably lose these tornado warnings here in just a bit. Right now, they're set to expire in 9 minutes. They should be expiring at 1:30. The current time is 1:21. I want to switch it back up here, though. Those tornado warnings are almost over and done with. So now I want to switch radars to the Nashville radar site, and we're going to bring it back up here to the, okay, so now I'm going to show you this right here in just a second. But tornado warning, this is going to be for Warren County, also into Van Buren County, and again, the southern portions of White County until 1:45. I switched it over here to the Nashville radar site. We get a little bit better picture, and you can see exactly why the National Weather Service office in Nashville issued this tornado warning. We have one area of rotation right here, and then an area of rotation just to the south of that too. So 2 possible areas of these rotating thunderstorms that are capable of producing a tornado. I still don't have any visual confirmation on that. On that tornado warning, that if there is a tornado that's on the ground, but radar is still showing some decent signatures right now on the radars on these velocity products. So this is what we're looking at right here. I'm circling it with the mouse right here. This is going to be right here around Faulkner Springs. Seeing some rotation right there. This is going to be closing in on Union. So if there is a tornado on the ground, and like I've been saying all night, with these radar indicated, these tornado warnings that are issued because of radar indicated rotation, you have to treat these like there is a tornado on the ground. A new radar scan just came in, and we're still maybe looking at a little bit of a rotation area right here around Jesse, right in between Jesse and Rowland. That's over here in Warren County. And then maybe another little spot right here just to the southeast of Faulkner Springs, just now east of McMinnville. We're going to be watching that area too. So I've got my eyes on just those 2 spots right there. Maybe a couple of areas of rotation. It's not super tight rotation, which is good, but definitely some areas of that storm that are trying to rotate. I'm going to zoom back out and just see what's going on down in Franklin County. Looks like they're going to keep that warning going. They'll probably just let that go until 1:30. And just let that kind of expire itself. But it's still this tornado warning that we have in effect for Warren County, Van Buren County, and southern portions of White County. I'm going to try to stand where I'm blocking any of that tornado warning. But Basically, this is the center portion of Warren County right here. Here's McMinnville. If you're east of McMinnville, even if you're in McMinnville, I'd say go ahead and stay in your safe place for a little bit longer. I'll let you know when that tornado threat has pushed past that area, but you're going to need to definitely be in your safe place if you're east of McMinnville, if you're right here along the Warren County and Van Buren County line, and even up here into the southern portions of White County. I'll get you some town names. This is the very far southern point of White County, Joppa, Quebec, Mount Pisgah, Doyle, even up into Cummingsville too. You need to just go ahead and stay in your safe place for a little bit longer. This tornado warning is set to go until 1:45 this morning, so another 20 minutes or so remaining on that tornado warning right there. Still some severe thunderstorm warnings out too. Those are still for some strong damaging wind gusts possible with some of those storms. This is the main tornado warning that I want to focus on right now though, because if I switch back over just really quickly, I'll show you this, and then we'll get back to that tornado warning. We are going to get to, let's see, Hopkinsville, or I'm going to switch over to the Huntsville radar and get to this portion down here in the eastern portions of Franklin County, and I'm just really not seeing any good areas down here of any more rotation in Franklin County. It looks like this area right here, this is just outside of our viewing area, but Mont Eagle right there, if there's any rotation, this is the storm that's now traveled out of Franklin County. This is where it's going to be. So I think that best area of rotation has now exited our viewing area. That's good news, at least for us. And these tornado warnings should be expiring within the next 5 minutes or so that are down there for the eastern portions of Franklin County. So this is still the main area of focus. I'm going to switch it back over to the Nashville radar site. That's going to give us a better picture on these storms that are moving through parts of Warren and Van Buren County. And we're still seeing these, it's where these reds and greens are. And if you were watching earlier, or if you've watched any of our severe weather coverage, this is what we call the velocity product. This is showing us the winds that are going towards and away from the radar. This is over here in the eastern portions of our viewing area. So our radar, we're on the Nashville radar site. That's going to be well to the west of here. So these greens are going to be the winds feeding into that. The winds going towards that radar site. And then these reds are going to be the winds that are going away from that. So you can still see an area of broad rotation happening right there. So broad rotation happening right here around McMinnville. Rowland also seeing some of that area of rotation possible. Excuse me, one second. Possible right there. And Doyle also seeing not any rotation right now, but if some of that rotation does hold together, that's going to keep on moving off to the northeast, and that could be pushing it into that area. So if you're in this far southern point of White County, you need to go ahead and just stay in your safe place. If you're in Warren County, you need to be in your safe place too, especially if you're to the east of, let's see if I can get this road name to pop up. If you're to the east of Smithville Parkway, you need to go ahead and stay in your safe place. They just went ahead and trimmed back the backside of that tornado warning, so that's good. This tornado warning right here is going to be for the eastern portions of Warren County. This right here is the Warren County and Van Buren County line. This is the far southern point of White County right here, still included within that tornado warning. Van Buren County, Spencer is included within that tornado warning. I'm going to put a couple of storm tracks on this too. These storms tonight have pretty much been moving about 45, 50, 55 miles an hour. So we're going to put a storm track on there and drag it out about that time. And we're going to get some of these town names to pop up and just show you an ETA on some of these storms. So Spencer, 14 minutes, your area. Rowland right now, you still need to be in your safe place if you're in Rowland right now. White Hill, 4 minutes, and Spencer, 13 minutes until it arrives into your area. And then way over here, this is Mooneyham over here, 21 minutes until it gets into that area. So you still got a little bit of time if you're in Spencer, but you need to go ahead and be getting to your safe place. I know this area also, really all of Middle Tennessee is very familiar with severe weather, so I'm sure you've done this before, or at least had to at some point. But just that safe place is going to be that lowest floor of whatever building you're in. Try to get, or hopefully it's a site-built structure, the lowest floor of that, and away from any windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside of the home as possible. So you want to get to that most interior room. If you have an interior bathroom or closet, something with no windows, that's going to be a good bet. If you have a storm shelter or a basement, that's a great bet. Not everybody has those, obviously, though. So if you don't, just go ahead and get into that lowest floor of whatever building you're in, the most interior room, and away away from any windows. I think these tornado warnings that are in effect for Franklin County, like we were talking earlier, I am really not seeing any sort of issues with any of that anymore. So it is 1:28 right now. The clock just hit 1:29. Once it hits 1:30, I think both of these tornado warnings down here in Franklin County are going to disappear from our maps. But it's still this area right here. This is Warren County, Van Buren County right here. Warren County, Van Buren County line. And this is still where the best area of rotation appears to be. I'm going to zoom in on this area right here, around the White Hill area. You need to be in your safe place. Pine Grove, this is White Hill right there around the Warren County and Van Buren County line. Get in your safe place. Stay in your safe place right now. Pine Grove, Spencer, Laurelburg, Riverview, Rowland all still need to be in your safe place. I still don't have any confirmation that this tornado is on the ground, but this severe thunderstorm is very capable of producing a tornado, and that's why the National Weather Service office here in Nashville went ahead and put that tornado warning on that. That's still set to go until 1:45, so another 15 minutes remaining on that tornado warning right parts of Warren County, Van Buren County, and the far southern point of White County. The clock just hit 1:30. These two tornado warnings that we had down here should be popping out of Franklin County at any minute now. We just have these couple of tornado warnings. These warnings, and there they go. So that's great news right there. None of Franklin County included within that tornado warning anymore. So if you were watching us from Franklin County, you're totally all clear to go ahead and get out of your safe place. Not going to have to deal with any sort of tornado threat with that storm that has now crossed over out of the viewing area. So great news right there. It's still that storm, though, that I'm watching up here in Warren County, and the best area of rotation is going to be right here on the Warren County and Van Buren County line. Right here, you can see where these greens and these reds are kind of butting up against each other. That's going to be where the best area of rotation is. So if you're in areas like White Hill, Pine Grove, Spencer, you really need to be in your safe place. And like we've been doing all night, we'll go ahead and tell you when you can get out of there, when it's safe to go ahead and get out of the safe place. This is still a tornado warning that was issued from radar indicated rotation, but you just always have to treat these like they actually are dropping a tornado on the ground. We've been able to cover a lot of tornado warnings, and the National Weather Service folks, who are great, have done a great job of warning on these storms just by seeing some of these reds and greens, the velocity products that we look at, the storm relative velocity, on if there's rotation, they'll issue that tornado warning, and a lot of times there actually is a tornado. So it's a great tool that we have to go ahead and get more lead time on some of these tornado warned storms. They can go ahead and put that tornado warning on them. I'm going to leave up the radar right here. This is the Van Buren and Warren County line. I know I've said that several times now, but this is where the best area of rotation is. It's starting to move out of Warren County and now head towards Van Buren County. So just keep us on right here. Turn us up if you're in Van Buren County. That tornado warning is going to remain in effect for another 14 minutes. But that's the tornado warning right there. I'm going to switch over here and read what's going on in the National Weather Service chat. See if I have any sort of updated information on this tornado warning that's in effect for Warren County, Van Buren County, and the far southern point of White County. This was the most recent update. At 1:23, they went ahead and continued that tornado warning. That tornado warning still set to go until 1:45 for northwestern Van Buren County, far eastern portions of Warren County, and then that southern point of White County too. This was radar indicated rotation. This storm is also still moving at 45 miles an hour, very common with what we've been seeing with these storms along the main line of that. So that's what we're looking at right now, still radar indicated rotation. So you just got to treat this, though, like there is a possible tornado on the ground. Definitely better to just go ahead and play this. Better safe than sorry. The best area of rotation has pretty much moved out of Warren County, with the exception, this right here, this is all of Warren County right here. This is going to be the best area of rotation, just about to move out of Warren County and cross over into Van Buren County. So if you're just now tuning in, we've had this round of storms that has moved all the way across, basically all the way across from West Tennessee all the way through Middle Tennessee, and now here's what we're left with. It kind of had a little bit of a lull in the activity. It got really strong up there in the parts of the northwestern portions of our viewing area. We had several tornado warnings, several severe thunderstorm warnings that were issued earlier this evening, or late this afternoon, or last afternoon in the evening, and now we've past midnight, and since midnight we've been on air covering these tornado warnings that have been issued for the southeastern portions of our viewing area. And this one is the only tornado warning that we have up right now but there is still some signs of some decent rotation right here on the Van Buren and Warren County line. That is headed towards Spencer. So Spencer, you still need to stay in your safe place. And I think we may have just gotten a radar update right there too, but this right here, still looking at the best area of rotation right there. I'll get you some road names too if you're familiar with any of these. Riverview. This is not a road name, obviously, but Riverview, Laurelburg, White Hill, Welchland, Pine Grove, Good Bars. If you're in any of those areas, stay in your safe place for a little bit longer. Some of these road names, we're looking at Rocky River Road, Westview Road, Root Davis Road, Rugby Road. So if you're any of these, around any of those roads, if you're familiar with that, if you live off of any of those, that is where we are looking at some of the better rotation with that storm that's moving almost now out of Warren County and into portions of Van Buren County. I would say McMinnville is still technically included within that tornado warning, but this is clearly the main threat with that. So if you're in McMinnville, we'll say go ahead and just stay in your safe place. Technically still included within that tornado warning, but really I think it's pretty much over and done with for McMinnville. This right here is definitely the best area of rotation right there. And like I said, I know I've said this several times now, but it's just where the rotation is. But right there along the Warren and Van Buren County line. We'll switch it back over here. Not seeing any more information coming in, so we'll say that's good news for right now. And then now the best area of rotation has entirely shifted out of Warren County, and probably not going to even really mess with the southern portions right here of White County. This is still what I'm watching right here, just north of the White Hill area. I'm still seeing some of this better rotation right here. You can clearly see what the National Weather Service office in Nashville is seeing, keeping this tornado warning going right here. So White Hill, Riverview, Welchland, Pine Grove, you still need to be in your safe place. A possible tornado. Still don't have any sort of confirmation on this storm to know if there is actually a tornado that is on the ground or not, but you can see it right here. These greens are the winds going towards the Nashville radar. These reds that are the winds that are going away from it. So right there is going to be the best area of circulation. Again, that is very near to White Hill, also to Welchland. So go ahead and stay in your safe place. That tornado warning is set to expire in another 9 minutes, so we still have a little bit longer on that. But while that's going on, I just want to pop back out here and just show you a wide view. We'll show you that tornado watch too, because a lot of these counties should have been dropped from that tornado watch. I have not been able to check this. So 1 a.m. These counties right here along the plateau were never technically included within that tornado watch. So that's why I was saying earlier that we still need to watch those, because we saw some signs of those storms rotating. So none of our counties technically included within that tornado watch anymore. Well, that one just popped off too. So technically none of our counties now anywhere, Southern Kentucky or Middle Tennessee, are included in a tornado watch. However, that still doesn't mean that a tornado can't develop. We already have that tornado warning that is right here in parts of Warren County and the Van Buren County, and you can see those areas are not included in that tornado watch. So we're going to keep on watching the plateau. I'll be here until that main line finally crosses over the plateau, and every single person is good to go as far as any sort of severe weather threat remains. I'll pop back over to radar though. We should still have another 7 minutes or so left on this tornado warning that's in effect for parts of Van Buren County and southern portions of White County as well. So here's what it looks like. This is the radar that you typically see us show when we're doing a newscast or something. This is all of the rainfall that we have going on. This is really just showing us rain right now. So still seeing some heavy rainfall. I'm going to zoom in too, right there on that spot right there. This looks like we're going to see the best area of rotation. You also saw it right there. The backside of that tornado warning just dropped off. So all of Warren County is now out of this tornado threat. So if you're watching us from Warren County, that's going to be places like McMinnville, Rowland, Faulkner Springs, Shady Rest, Isleford. If you're watching us, Irving College, Curtistown, anywhere in those areas, you have no more threat that you're going to have to worry about. You're all clear with that, so you can go ahead and get out of your safe place. This has now crossed over the county line in the Van Buren County, so now it's going to be areas Pine Grove, Spencer, Riverview, White Hill still need to be in your safe place right now too. That tornado warning is set to go until 1:45 if that does not get extended. That is the only tornado warning that we have in effect right now, but we're still seeing some very heavy rainfall with that. I'm going to bring it over here to the velocity product, and we'll see if there's any decent rotation. really, I think anywhere right here in this general area has the potential to rotate, and that's the exact area that they're going to keep tornado warned on that storm. We'll zoom in a little bit tighter here. It's possible, some rotation right here around the Riverview, White Hill area, just around the Welchland area too. So just still go ahead, play it safe, stay in your safe place. There's another thing that we can look at too. I've been looking at this a couple of times throughout the night, and this is pretty good if we want to pick up any sort of debris. As of right now, not seeing anything too concerning. I know this has a lot of colors going on it, but basically I'm just looking to see if there's any sort of different colored pixels that are matching up with the velocity. I don't really see anything too concerning. These are standing out a little bit, but I don't think really that is any sort of decent debris signature. So we're going to pop it back over to the radar and velocity product and just keep you updated on this tornado warning right here that's in effect for parts of Van Buren County. 1:39 at the current time. We just had this line kind of blow up again about midnight, and it's been tornado warned ever since. We had a nice little lull in the activity, so that was good news. If you were in areas around Interstate 65, you were getting some heavy rainfall, a lot of lightning with some of those storms, some strong wind gusts. But as far as the tornado threat goes, like our central portions of Middle Tennessee, we actually had a pretty nice lull in the activity, so at least that's good news from earlier in the day with that event right there. And let me see if that, I can't remember, that severe thunderstorm warning was just, okay, let's see. That severe thunderstorm warning has been there the entire time. So we still have this tornado warning. That severe thunderstorm warning, it does include the entire portion of Van Buren County. So also I'm blocking a little bit of the screen, but this does include this severe thunderstorm warning. This yellow flashing polygon does include the entire county, entire Van Buren, all of Van Buren County. Still could be seeing some strong wind gusts, 60 miles an hour or so, even if you're not directly included within that tornado. But it's still, you can see this area of rotation right here, the best area of rotation at least, in Van Buren County, right here, right here around the Pine Grove area, Welchland area. These greens, again, the winds that are going towards the Nashville radar site, that's way back out here to the west. And then the reds are the winds that are going away from that. So these are kind of shifting. The winds are moving off more towards the east right here. And this is that best area of rotation that we're looking at. That's why the National Weather Service office here in Nashville is holding on to this tornado warning for at least the next 4 minutes. It was set to expire at 1:45 when it was issued. We'll see what they do. We're going to get another radar scan in and see if that rotation is still looking pretty decent, at least a little bit decent right there around the Pine Grove and Welchland area. That is the only tornado warning that we have in effect still for our viewing area, and there's only a few more minutes left on that. I'm going to pop back and forth. Let's see. All right, so it does look like they are going to issue a new tornado warning for that storm in Van Buren County. So this tornado warning that you see right here, originally set to expire at 1:45, and that is going to get extended, it looks like. You can still see why, too. You're still seeing a decent area of rotation right there, and we're going to zoom in on that. We'll get you some of those town names, but a new tornado warning should be popping up here shortly. That's going to be kind of off on that northeasterly path. All of these storms tonight have really been pushing off to the east, about 45, 50 miles per hour. So just waiting on that new tornado warning to get issued. But as that's going to get issued, we'll be able to pop that up here in just a second. That'll probably be within the next few minutes. This tornado warning set to go at 1:45. But you can still see this rotation. This is why you really need to be in your safe place. We're in Van Buren County. This is Davis Road, Pine Grove right here. This is State Road 111 that runs right here. So any of these areas, right around this area, that's going to be the best area of rotation. You definitely need to be in your safe place if you're in that area right now. That's parts of Van Buren County, but we're going to zoom out, and this is more than likely going to take up the rest of Van Buren County with that new tornado warning that's going to come out probably any minute now. From the National Weather Service office here in Nashville. But this is the only warning that we have in effect right now. I think most of the rest of the threat has pretty much come and gone as that line has pushed out through most of the area. I'll show you where that main line is right now, and you can see it. Okay, so that new tornado warning was just issued. But real quick, before we get to that tornado warning, It's this area right here. This is that main line. These are some showers that are occurring on the back side of that. Any of this you're not going to have to worry about. But this area right here, basically the eastern edges of the plateau, this is what we're going to still be watching as we go through the next couple hours or so. So we're going to zoom back down here in the Van Buren County on into portions of White County as well. This is going to be for the southwestern portions of Cumberland County. This is that new tornado warning that the National Weather Service just issued. That rotation is holding together. Totally agree with them on reissuing that tornado warning. You can definitely see the rotation signature popping up here on the radar. I'm going to put it back into the velocity mode, and we will see exactly what this does right here. When it comes to the rotation, and we'll see what we're looking at. So this is still that area right here. Still Pine Grove, Spencer, actually right around the Fall Creek Falls area too, Mooneyham. If you're in any of those areas, you need to be in your safe place. But this tornado warning did get extended. It got pushed further east, and now it does include parts of White County and also in Cumberland County too. So Newton is included in this tornado warning. Also, the very, very far southeastern portions of White County included in that tornado warning. It's set to go for another 30 minutes. Should run until about 2:15. So I'm hoping this rotation starts to weaken. But as it stands right now, you can see this area of rotation right there around Pine Grove, and that was the reason for this tornado warning to be issued. And we may even have a little bit of a second area of rotation that's trying to develop right there around the Fall Creek Falls area. So this is the tornado warning that we're going to be watching right here as we head through the next 30 minutes or so. This tornado warning is going to go until 2:15 early this morning. And like I was saying earlier, you know, this whole line just really started to blow up once it hit the plateau. That's the only tornado warning. Franklin County was in a tornado warning earlier, so was Lincoln and Moore. Those have all been over and done with. That main line has now passed that area. So it's still just this area right here in parts of Van Buren County, moving on up into the very far southeastern portions of White County and Cumberland County that are still included within this tornado warning. This is the reflectivity mode. This is the reflectivity mode right here. And we're still seeing just some heavy rainfall associated with this. I will say, not seeing a whole lot of lightning with these storms. Most of the thunderstorm or the lightning activity is actually just outside of our viewing area, but some of these storms are still trying to produce a few signs of rotation, and that's why the National Weather Service office here in Nashville is going to go ahead and keep that tornado warning going for about another 30 minutes until 2:15. That's going to include portions of Van Buren County on into southeastern portions of White County. That's that little sliver of White County right here, and then on over into Cumberland County too. So just the far southwestern portions of Cumberland County are included within that tornado warning. Newton is included in that tornado warning right there. I'm going to bring it back over here to the velocity product because this is definitely where we can see the best areas of rotation. With this storm. Still looks like we may have a couple areas of rotation or one area of broad rotation. I'm going to zoom in and make sure I'm not blocking any of this screen too. But right here, so it's kind of pushing off to the east side of Pine Grove, right here around Fall Creek Falls and just north of Fall Creek Falls. Mooneyham, you still need to be in your safe place. Lonewood in your safe place as well, and Newton too. I'll put a storm track on these, try to get some times mapped out on this right here. I'm going to have to assume this storm is probably moving at about 45, 50 miles an hour. That's what we've been seeing all night long now. Fall Creek Falls right now, go ahead and if you're around that area, Fall Creek Falls is a beautiful area, but if you're around that area, be in your safe place. Mooneyham, 5 more minutes too until that best area of rotation moves out into your area. So you need to also be in your safe place. This is because of that tornado warning storm that is set to go until 2:15 this morning if it holds together and if it does not get canceled early. So let's see. I'm going to read when this tornado warning was issued. Actually, also, I'm going to check this too. There was some thunderstorm wind damage that was 1 mile north of Manchester. That was in Coffee County. There was a tree that fell on a home on East Harp Street, and that was about 12:54 this morning. So that was about an hour ago with that storm that was moving through Manchester in Coffee County. So that was just a thunderstorm damaging wind report that we had from there. We're going to get you this tornado information though. This is that tornado warning that we're looking at. This is Van Buren County, and I'm also going to take that little path map off too. This is Van Buren County right here. This is southeastern portions of White County, and this right here is Cumberland County. The far southeastern portion southwestern portion of Cumberland County is included within that tornado warning. So here's what the National Weather Service office in Nashville put out when they issued this tornado warning. This, like we've been seeing all night long now, this tornado warning was issued because this severe thunderstorm is capable of producing a tornado. This is issued for radar indicated rotation at 1:42 a.m. According to the radar, from looking at the velocity products, it looked like that storm was capable of producing some rotation. Sorry, my contact's getting blurry right there. And it's moving east at 35 miles an hour. So this one's actually moving just a little bit slower than some of these other storms have been moving. Still moving at a pretty good speed, but just a little bit slower than what we've been seeing some of these storms moving a little bit earlier today. So I'm going to bring it back over here and just stay in your safe place if you're in any of these areas that I name out. This tornado warning storm originated in Warren County. Warren County is out of this. Not going to have to deal with any of that. So if you're in Warren County, including areas like McMinnville, you're all good, nothing to worry about. But it's this area right here that we're still going to be watching. So we're going to zoom into this area. This is clearly the best area of rotation. This is going to be just south of Cane Creek, just now to the southwest of Mooneyham, north of Fall Creek Falls. It'll be this general area. We're still seeing a little bit of broad rotation popping up right there on the radar, and that's why the Nashville National Weather Service office is going to go ahead and hold on to that tornado warning for the next 20 minutes or so. This tornado warning is set to expire at 2:15, and it's moving east. It's in the far eastern portions of Van Buren County now, at least that best area of rotation. I've been checking reports. And this red polygon has not turned purple, so we don't have any sort of confirmed tornado reports within that area. This tornado warning is still holding, though, because the rotation is still staying on there. You can see it very clearly. Some of these brighter red pixels, some of the brighter green pixels. This is going to be the best area of rotation just around Fall Creek Falls, just north of that, just south of Mooneyham. That best area of rotation right there in the eastern portions of Van Buren County. And it's going to keep on moving off to the northeast. This particular storm moving at 35 miles an hour, a little bit slower than what we've been seeing with some of those storms earlier in the day. But if that holds together, it's going to keep on moving through parts of Van Buren County, and then it'll eventually move off into the southwestern areas of Cumberland County too. So that's the main area that we're going to be keeping our eye out on. And really, this right here is Van Buren County. This is the center line of Van Buren County, and most of the rotation that could be possible of producing a tornado is going to be in the northeastern portions of Van Buren County. So if you're in Van Buren County close to the Warren County line, this threat has passed your area. You're not going to have to worry about any of that. This is now going to be a northeastern portions of Van Buren County deal, and also into the southwestern portions of Cumberland County. If that area of rotation holds together enough for that tornado warning to keep on staying in place up there in the parts of southeastern Cumberland County. Just got this report. Cumberland County just reported 184 power outages. I'm going to pop this back up. 184 power outages in Cumberland County. Some other counties, too, are seeing some power outages as well. Fentress County, 421 power outages. Pickett County, 34 power outages. So still seeing some power outages in some of these areas, too. And, some of this may even be, especially in the more northern areas like the Clay or Pickett, Fentress County, that area, they've just seen so much rainfall. And then if you add on a little bit of wind on that, the ground's already very saturated. Fortunately, a lot of the trees don't have the whole canopy right now because we're still in the wintertime. But it's not going to take a lot to any of those weak trees with that saturated ground could be blowing some of those down. Some of these storms have been producing some strong winds. Even if you haven't been in a tornado warning tonight, some of these storms, especially if you've been in a severe thunderstorm warning, you could have been seeing 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. And then just as that whole main line was moving through, if you weren't in a severe thunderstorm warning, producing gusts still 30, 35, 40 miles per hour. So we've had some strong winds with this line as it's moved through. It's about to be out of our viewing area. It's just not quite out just yet, though. It's still got a little bit of ways to go. It is on the edges of the plateau, though. We're going to put it back into reflectivity, and I can show you better exactly where this main line is. And I'm going to circle it right here with my finger, but really this area right here is still the leading edge of that. If you're back west of this, you could still be seeing some heavy rainfall. Places like Cookeville, Tullahoma, Winchester, Could still be seeing some heavy rainfall in some of those areas. The good news, though, with those spots back outside of that main line, not going to have to worry about any sort of severe weather threat, and really not a lot of lightning either with any of that. Most of the lightning strikes are still right here, just right at that main line, 29 lightning strikes over the past little bit right there. It's still this tornado warning, though, that's going to go until 2:15 for northeastern portions of Van Buren County on into southwestern portions of Cumberland County. We'll switch it back over here to the velocity product. This product just makes it pretty easy to spot out some of the better areas of rotation. So now it still looks like just south of Mooneyham, still seeing maybe a little bit of area rotation. Not super impressive on the radar, but you can definitely tell where that storm is trying to rotate. This is just south of Mooneyham, just north of Fall Creek Falls. There's Saratoga Springs right there, just back to the west of that. A little bit of circulation this radar is trying to pick up on with that thunderstorm going on right there. Again, not looking super impressive. Hopefully this just keeps on broadening out and this doesn't stick together, and then the National Weather Service hopefully able to cancel that tornado warning once it gets closer into parts of southwestern Cumberland County. That is the only tornado warning that we still have in effect right now. So I'll just go ahead. Mooneyham, still stay in your safe place. Lonewood, you still need to be in your safe place as well. That's going to be right here. This is still where I'm thinking the best area of rotation is. Still don't have any confirmation, though, that we have a tornado on the ground or anything with this, but you just always have to treat it like it is. Newton, not seeing anything there just yet, but this storm is moving off to the northeast at 35 miles an hour. Not going to take much longer, maybe another 5-10 minutes at the most before it reaches into the Newton area. Probably closer to the 5 minutes right there. Here's the newest radar scan that came in, and that rotation broadened out a little bit more. I'm not seeing anything, looking at this right now, anything super concerning with any of that. So that is some good news. These are all the winds just kind of heading the same direction. Not seeing any area that is standing out to me right now where there's any sort of significant rotation with that. So hopefully it'll stay that way, and hopefully we don't have to worry about this tornado warning getting extended again, and we can finally pretty much be over and done with this line that has moved through, started all the way back out in West Tennessee, and just kept on moving. Like I was saying earlier, we had a little bit of a lull in the activity along Interstate 65, and then things just really decided to start picking back on up in our southeastern counties, Lincoln, Moore, and Franklin County, and also over here along the plateau, Van Buren County was included. It's still included in that tornado warning. It traveled that storm that is capable of producing a tornado, traveled from central portions of Warren County around the McMinnville area, kept on moving up to the northeast, and then made its way up into Van Buren County. And I think the rotation is starting to weaken up, so that's pretty good. We'll see. I'm going to pop back over to the National Weather Service chat and see if there's any sort of updates coming in from there on this tornado warned storm. Still seeing some power outages in Spencer. They're going to continue that tornado warning. This just came in. They're going to continue that tornado warning. It's going to remain in effect until 2:15 for northeastern portions of Van Buren County right there, and also southwestern portions of Cumberland County. That's going to be south of Crossville. If this does hold together, though, or tightens up a little bit better, Crossville, you're going to need to be ready to be in your safe place. Crossville, not technically included within that tornado warning just yet. If it can get back going again, though, it could get issued for the Crossville area, so I'm going to be keeping my eye out for that. Right now, though, Crossville is not included within that tornado warning, but it's just something that we're going to be having to watch at least over the next 25 minutes or so as this storm continues to begin to push into parts of Cumberland County. Right here around, this is basically the three-part right here. This is Van Buren County, White County, Cumberland County right there, and that's what we're looking at with the best area of possible rotation. I'll put it back over here on the velocity product and just see exactly what we have going on. It's still just a little bit of rotation going to be possible right here. Nothing still overly concerning to me when I'm looking at it right now, but if you're in that area, play it safe and just stay in your safe place. That's going to include areas like Newton, Winesap, Hilltop Acres, in those areas as well. Just a few minor power outage reports in Franklin County. We had some strong winds move through Franklin County. Only 74 reports of power outages that are down there in Franklin County. We'll back out. I'm going to see if we're going to just put this into a regular reflectivity mode. This is just going to show us that rain. And look at this. If you're west of Interstate 65, you're really not seeing much of anything right now. It is pretty much all dry. We could see some snow flurries that are coming in on the back side of this. We'll start to see these temperatures drop as we head through the rest of the night now that that cold front has moved through. We're going to start to see some of those temperatures drop over in our more western spots. Still dealing with quite a bit of rainfall, though. Areas east of Interstate 65 and especially right here along the plateau. Still some very heavy rainfall. There's that tornado warning that we still have in effect for the far northeastern portions of Van Buren County, the southwestern portions of Cumberland County. That's the only tornado warning that we have in effect for our viewing area. It's the only warning as far as severe warnings go that we have in effect at all. No severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for anywhere in our viewing area now. Those have all shifted east with that main line. And then the only other warning is that tornado warning. And then we do still have the flash flood warnings, though. And that's something that we've been talking about for several days now. We knew that this storm had, or this round of storms had the potential 6 days away, or 6 days past, that this line of storms had the potential to get strong and severe. So the forecast came pretty good on that. And then also we were talking about the chance for some flooding, and that definitely came to fruition, especially up there in the parts of southern Kentucky, just across the state line in the northern portions of Middle Tennessee as well. We kept that flood threat going. It was some heavy rainfall that moved through all morning long, and then we saw a little bit of a break in the rain for those areas, but just on the heels of that, that main line started to sweep through, and then that also was bringing 1 to 3 inches of rainfall with some of that. So on top of all the rain that we already saw, it started to bring more rain, and that's why we were hearing about some of those swiftwater rescues up there in Sumner County, some bad flooding. I was seeing some of those pictures earlier today, even in parts of southern Kentucky and northern portions of Middle Tennessee, where they were seeing some of that flooding. And then if you come across any of that in the morning hours, don't try to drive through any of that. It's just not a smart idea. You want to play it safe, and you want to stay, just play it safe, turn around, find you a different way to get around that, back to your route, because not a good idea to try to be driving through that because you can't really tell how far it goes. Good news right here. Tornado warning was just canceled. That rotation was looking like it was getting weaker and weaker. So 2 o'clock right now, the National Weather Service decided to go ahead and finally drop that tornado warning. And I think the tornado threat has pretty much come to an end. We're just going to wait till this main line crosses, though. Areas like Fentress County, Cumberland County, we're going to let that main line pass through. We're still going to stay here and monitor this just in case. But overall, I think that severe threat, the severe weather threat, the severe thunderstorm threat, the tornado threat has significantly dropped now. We'll stay here and monitor it for a little bit longer just in case until we can totally give you the all clear. But as it stands right now, there are no more warnings on this. So that circulation that prompted that tornado warning has now moved outside of our viewing area. So they went ahead and canceled that. So current time is 2:01. We'll go ahead and get you back to regular programming. Again, we'll stick around until that main line passes through. Should be completely over and done with that main line within the next 30 minutes or so, 45 minutes. So we'll stick around for the duration of that. But honestly, I think the severe threat right now is looking pretty low for most other areas. If another tornado warning gets issued, though, we'll be popping back on. But as it stands right now, anybody that was still in your safe place, you are all good right now. Not having to deal with any sort of active tornado warnings. So we'll go ahead and get you back to regular programming right now.